What's up, guys? Welcome to the EverPresent Podcast. It's Brandon Mckissic,
And my name is Chris Stabile.
and we just want to personally thank y'all for tuning in and joining the EverPresent family. And we look forward to entertain you guys with what we had to say, and we really appreciate y'all for taking time out your day to listen.
Most definitely. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You don't know what it means, whether it's 10 people, 100 people, one person. I think that what me and Brandon have to share to the world, and who we'll be talking to can impact a lot of lives, and it can make a great difference. Whether, like I said, whether it's 10 people, I don't care. As long as we can make a difference in someone's life, that's what it means to me. And I know for
Nah, for
Brandon, that means a
sure.
lot too.
Nah, for sure. Definitely even just affecting one person. That one person can go affect, five, just the effect, the domino effect after, being able to, put impact on someone's life, with real life stories that, is going on, kind of letting you know that, life is life. You just gotta keep going.
And that's definitely something that I've learned, especially in the last year. I mean, there's been moments in my life where I've learned that life ain't sweet. My accident taught me anything is life ain't sweet. Anything can happen at any time. You don't know what it is. We had a conversation yesterday about, one of the most unexpected things in your life could have ever happened. And we'll get into that, but
Yeah,
you
we'll
don't know
get
what could
all of that.
happen. And that's really where I came up with the term ever present. When I was literally 2 broken feet, just sitting in my bed, I would just read it. Like all I would do is read, play video games, talk to my friends, whatever. And I read a lot of philosophy books, right? And one of the
Right.
major things that I learned in all of them is that there's no such thing outside of the present, like what is right now. Growing up, I had a lot of anxiety. I dealt with a lot of depression. There's a lot of things in my life that they did affect me. I shouldn't have let them, but they did. And I've learned how to deal with that now. But like I said, what I learned from those is that the future is not here and the past is gone, right? They don't even exist. So what the fuck am I worried about them for, right? I can only
Right.
worry about what's now, what's in front of me. What can I do today to better myself for the future? Obviously, I can have goals. I want to have things I want to do in the future, but I can't worry about it. It's not here. Like I almost died like without even I don't even remember, right? I almost died and I don't like that. My life was almost gone,
Right.
right? And
Right.
so why like I can't be worried about what's not here yet. I need to be in the present, ever present.
No, that's right. Just me growing up, I was always kind of in my environment. And always kind of worry about people accepting me and not having like bad blood. And that kind of like got to my head. My dad was like, can't worry about people that's not going to be around like all the time. You got to focus on what you doing and the decisions that you making. And whoever chooses to stay is going to stay, and just kind of that concept, just focusing on what I got to handle in my business and, the decisions that I'm making in my life. Because at the end of the day, like people going to come and go, and, that kind of touches on, in the blink of an eye, you can lose someone. In the blink of an eye, you can be gone, but it's what decisions are you gonna make when life doesn't hand you lemons? When it hands you some BS? If it hands you some BS, what you gonna do with it? You gonna sit there and be
Yeah.
like, "Woe is me," or are you gonna sit there and you gonna take that and make it out and make some shake with it? And that's one thing that my dad really taught me, because I used to be so mentally like in my head about people not liking me, or I'm like not like popular or nothing like that. And it used to get to my head, and then like when he kind of like put that concept in my head, like I really stopped caring. Like I just stopped caring about what other people thought about me. I just like what, like regardless of what people think about me, I got to get in the gym. I got to work out. I got to get my homework done. Like I got to do that. No one's gonna get my homework done but me. So I don't know why I'm worried about other people. No one's gonna get these 500 shots up but me. So why don't worry about
Nope.
somebody else? Why more like I gotta worry about me and me owning my life decisions, what I gotta do to get to where I want to be in life. Because where I want to be in life, the people that I was worried about didn't want that for themselves.
No.
That's the point. Like why be so worried about people that aren't even on the same, like they're not even on the same mental wavelength as you, like trying to get to where you want to get in life. Like that's just wasting time.
Yeah, and I think that's like one of the hardest, like really one of the hardest lessons for people to learn in life is that at the end of the day, people really don't give a shit about you. Like outside of like who is close to you and who you have good relationships with, they
Yeah,
care about you, they love you, whatever. But outside of that, people really don't care about what you have going on at the end of the day.
exactly.
And and for me, like how you were saying, like, your dad told you, like, you got to make a choice at the end of the day, right? When
Right.
I like for me, when I first woke up, right, from my accident, and this is never how my perspective on life was. In my head, like one of the first things I made a decision was like, all right, we could either, you know, be down in the dumps and be depressed about this, whatever, or we could have a great mindset on it, whatever. And I'm gonna get through this. It's gonna be a good like this is the most challenging thing I've ever had to deal with in my life, and even though I'm still dealing with it, but from that first day on, I had to make the choice that this wasn't going to negatively impact my life in any way. Some way, somehow, I was gonna make a positive out of it. And like one thing that like always kept me going and like kept my mind really good, people are always at like, and well, it kind of goes in this question too. It's like how I came up with how, I chose you to do this with me, right? And when I came up with the idea to do it with you, because I think you remember that one morning we were up all night sitting in Miami and we were just hanging out on the porch. It was just me and you talking, and like
Mhm.
you were telling me about like a lot about your life. We were talking for like 2.5 hours at the end of the day. You told me a lot,
Yeah,
and I think if you remember, I was sitting there on the couch and I was like, bro, how do you do it? Like, I don't know how you're here, right? And
yeah,
I got that question so many times, like, how are you so positive about this? How are you like, how are you like so upbeat? Like, how are you not depressed? I'm like, someone always has it worse. Like, I was in the ICU, I was in trauma units. I seen people with like literally limbs cut off. Like, when I
yeah,
was going through physical therapy, people had like prosthetics, like, people like were way worse off than me. Yes, I had two broken feet among like everything else that I had, but someone was
yeah,
always worse. I was 22 years old at the time. I'm not like, there's people older, they don't have, like, I was in the gym every
yeah.
day. Physically, I was in shape, so I know I can get through this with the right mindset, but a lot of people can't keep that mindset, right?
Right.
They only look at their situation. You have to look at the outside and be like, hey, someone's had it worse. Someone's been here, someone's got through it, right? So I got to get through
Yeah.
it. And so like I said, that's how I kind of came up with choosing you. Was I just remember, like, because nobody else wanted to do this with me, right? So I was kind of down to the point where I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna do it by myself. I was just in there, and like I told you yesterday, I was like looking at your profile. I know this is actually, no, this was before that, but I just seen it, and I was like, let me hit up B-Mac. I don't know. I think you would love to do this with me. And you were so on. I loved it because
Yeah.
I knew right away, like, all right, we have so much we could talk about, and that's that's the most important thing for me. I think we're gonna do great
Yeah.
things here.
No, yeah, that's definitely, when you text me, I was so down. Like I had already like, thought about like doing some like, having like a platform where like people can like not be uh afraid to, like say like I'm not doing well right now. Like I'm like life is life right now. Like life
Mhm.
sucks right now. Like and I just need someone to talk to and like, like I wanted to do something like that. So like when you like text me, I was like, like this is like a not even like a platform for like everyone, but this is like, like they can't write their own story, but they can listen to what we have to say and they can listen to what others have to say and they can hear how, people go through a lot, like it's not just you going through it. And I'm not trying to say it in like a hard, tough love type of way, but just kind of like acknowledging people to the fact that, like you're not alone and you can like you don't have to be afraid to open yourself up to someone to talk about it and get help and find help. And it's just like being real, just like the raw realness that of the idea that you came to me with is kind of just like I loved it. Like I don't want to do something that's so like scripted and staged, and I just want like have some like go like points and bullets that we want to get across, and and just be real about it, be raw and cut. That's what I like that. So I was excited.
Yeah, because it's so funny because we talked 2 or 3 other times in Zoom the past few weeks, like, and I had
Yeah,
plans of trying to like plan things like how we're gonna do this, and we are just sitting there
mm.
talking for like 2 hours. I was like, we don't need to like, what do we have to plan?
No,
Like that, like
there's nothing to plan.
I just love having good conversations and getting to know
Yeah.
people and sharing stories and getting what you can positive out in the world to share
Yeah, like
share your word.
I realized that too. Like I remember I was just sitting there like chilling on the game and like we was just talking about like everything that we wanted to talk about, like, and it was just like so casual. Like we was both just doing whatever we needed to do on the other side of just like talking, and we just kept going with it. I'm just like, yeah, this is gonna be a cakewalk. Like podcast, like recording's not gonna be easy. Like it's not gonna be hard for us because we just, we gonna have what we want to talk about for that episode, and it's just gonna flourish from there. Like it's gonna be real easy flowing. Even when we have guys on here, like they're all gonna be good guys that we have decent or good, really good relationships with, and
Mm-hmm.
and it starts just spinning out. It's just gonna be real. It's gonna be so real that people can just come here and talk. It's just like we're making like kind of like a real calm, like just open space. Even though it's gonna be like recorded, and it's real. This is like a space where you're not gonna be judged. This will be a place where you're gonna be like you're gonna be respected. You're gonna listen. Like we want to know. We really want to know and get to know the real people that what we have on the show, including us.
Yeah, I love to get to people like what shapes someone, because
Yeah,
what people went through growing up is what turned them into the person they are today. And you could really tell a person by like you could tell what a person's been through in their life without them even saying it half the time. Am I wrong?
yeah.
Like
No, yeah,
you
no,
could just get the
definitely.
vibe from someone, like
No,
whether they've just been given everything in
yeah.
life, right? And they just don't see a lot of things the same way. It's like so I get like right here we could go ahead and get into your story, because I have a lot of questions that I would love to ask you.
No,
And
sure. Let's go right ahead. I'm
first things
excited.
first, I know me and you have talked about it a lot, and
Mhm.
but it's something that a lot of people need to hear. Growing up in St. Louis, right?
Mhm.
It's something that a lot of people don't actually know how dangerous of a city St. Louis is, right? Because it doesn't actually get talked about as much as like Chicago or other places like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, like, I feel like for me, like personally, like I see it a lot because obviously I'm from the city, so like I see it like more probably from other people that's from the city. But like on an, I feel like it's known on a national standpoint, but not to the point where like when you hear St. Louis, you don't think about it as you think about like Chicago or Detroit,
Mhm.
stuff like that. But yeah, it's not the best place to live. You can see the tourists like the arts and the food and all that stuff, but like when you get into the nitty gritty of it, like anybody can go at any point in time at any point in place. That's what it is. Like you got the places where the crime and the violence and all that's real high, but things happen in the quiet areas. Like
Mhm.
where I was from, like it wasn't like the most gang banging, like I had drug deals on the corners. I ain't had none of that. Like no, my neighborhood was quiet. I'll be dead honest about that. But like if I went 5 minutes down the road, then yeah, that's when it gets. But where I was at, it wasn't really like I was quiet. Just when the whole Mike Brown thing happened and like all that popped off, like that's like 5 minutes away from my house. Like I could make a 5 minute drive, and I'm on the road where everybody doing the riots and everything like that. And
Mhm.
I remember I told you about one of the days that the riots was going. My mom had to drive me home from school because I hadn't got my license yet.
Yeah.
It was my sophomore year, but I was turned 16 in January. So it was turn. My mom was we were driving home, and like she had forgot that riots was happening. So we pull up to the street, and it's just like a war. Like you see people jumping on cop cars, flicking them off. Like you see people just throwing things. It's like it's like a real like what you saw in the news. Like I saw that like on firsthand. I'm just like this is what like life can come to. And
Yeah.
like that, and that wasn't even like my first like open eye. I remember like one time like I was in middle school, I think. Either middle school or like sixth grade at the youngest. But I was going to my aunt crib, and I just I was just a regular day. Me and my mom, we knock on the door. We waiting for her to open the door. And it took a little bit longer than like usual, but like she finally got to the door. But me, like I'm just looking around, and there's a park at the bottom of her neighborhood, and
Mhm.
I just so happened to look toward the park, and everybody start running away. I'm sitting there like, huh? And you see two people running up the neighborhood, like running up the street that like me and my mom are open to. So like I'm at the front door of my aunt crib and the street right here, like the street's right out front. and I'm watching two dudes with guns like run and start shooting at the park, So I'm boom, boom, boom. So I run in the crib, I run in the crib, we get down, I'm just like, that was like my first like real like opening moment. Like I was like like you always heard about shootings and killing, but that was like my first time I really seen like a gun get pulled out and like start like it was fire like in an attempt like that type deal, and I was just like, cause I used to stay over at her place when my mom
Mm-hmm.
had work and stuff like that. Like I would stay over there, she would take care of me, and I used to sleep in the basement. I ain't sleep in the basement no more. I said, nah, cool. I went to the third floor. I went all the way up to the top of the house. I went to the third floor. I was like, nah, I'm good. And just like after that, like I was always on my toes for like a couple years. I was like always on my toes, and I was over at her house. Like I was always kind of like it's like an alert, like I was
Mm-hmm.
always on point. And then it's just like things like, and like I could give you multiple instances and all that, and like, but that's just way too long to talk about. But yeah, like St. Louis, like I said, you can live there if you was born there, but you don't move there. That's what I was saying in the most kindest way, because I do love my city at the end of the day, because it made who I am.
Yeah,
But
because
yeah,
I've been to St. Louis. I stayed there for a night when I was driving to Washington State when I moved there, and
yeah,
when you just stay in the city, there's you don't see anything wrong. I never knew anything about it at that point.
yeah.
But so growing up, seeing that kind of stuff and being around that, what did it do for you? Like I'm trying to think how to say this. Like, did that make you more so fall in love with basketball and be like, this, I need to dedicate my time here. Like, I need to
I
make sure that
think
I'm not wrapped up in any of this.
I think basketball really grabbed me. I didn't really
Mhm.
grab basketball, like, cause like when I first started playing, like some of my teammates on my first team, like they that's what they do. Like they
Yeah.
get to it, So it's just like I really feel like basketball grabbed me, and like I fell in love with that, and like I mentally decided like I want to do this. Like this is what I want
Mhm.
to do, and like that that mentality that I had, plus the people that I surrounded myself with, like coaching wise, like the coaches that I had in my life after that point, and how involved they were in my life, and how much time and effort they put into my life, like that's what really like the game, the love of the game and the game itself, the game loving me back. Really, I feel like kind of really what separated me from that, and kind of kept me in the path that I wanted to be in.
That, that's that's so. I love to hear that because you don't. It's very so seldom that people actually say that the game loved me back. Because at the end of the day, for a lot of people, it ends up being that like they love the game, they put everything they want into it, but sometimes the game do not love you back, right? So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
for you saying that the game loved you like that, like that's so awesome to hear. It's really amazing. And
Yeah, because like I feel like a lot of people don't say that the game loved them back until they
no,
made it to the NBA, and that's not the case. I truly believe that like even just being able to play for like say like you play high school, college, the game loved you. Like
yeah,
college, like the gap between high school and college is like huge. Like not everybody plays college sports.
no.
So the fact that you playing college sports, the game loved you enough. And you loved it
Hmm.
back. Like the game loved you back enough to, hey, I'm gonna get you to this next level. Like, cause like it's all what you put into it. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's a relationship. When you put the time and effort into the relationship gonna give you what you want back.
It's about appreciating what you have in front, like what it has
Oh,
to
for
give you at the
sure.
moment, right? Because
You
you
gotta be in
like
the present.
you could be back home or like but like the other day you're playing basketball overseas.
Yeah,
You're still living your dream, right? You're getting to see
yeah.
the world, like new experiences at the other day. You can't trade that for anything, right?
No, exactly.
This question right here is a very tough one. Like I don't really know how to ask it because for me, I don't know how to say I've been blessed with the fact that I have not lost a lot of people in my life. Like I haven't
Mm-hmm.
had to deal with a lot of death. I lost my great grandpa when I was younger, and I lost my great grandma about a year or two ago, and a couple other distant family members. But I've never lost anyone significant in my life. And so anytime someone comes to me and someone died in their families, I have no like I don't know how to be there. Like I tell them I'm like I don't know what to say. I know you don't want to hear I'm sorry. But I just know that I'm here. Whatever you need to do, I'm here. So for me,
Right.
what was it like growing up dealing with the loss of so many like loved ones, like because I know you shared with me how many people you've actually like lost in your life, and I I don't know how you do it. And
I mean, you deal with it, in like a way where it's not gonna just fade. It ain't gonna wake up
mhm,
one day and it's gonna be gone. Like it's always gonna linger. It's always gonna be things that remind you of them. It's always gonna be times like where it's just gonna hurt. Like I remember when I lost my grandpa, like, cause I remember it, like I literally remember like the play by play of how everything went down, how the funeral went, like, and then so like I found out. So I went and seen. So let me just start this way. I seen him on Easter. I seen him on Easter. Like I literally like I had the sixes on Easter KD sixes on.
I had those.
Bro, like I literally remembered it. Like I went and seen him on Sunday. He didn't want to eat. I was like, man, like I wasn't old enough to like really like think about. I was like, man, why he not eating? Like why he mad? This then the third, right? But then I had an AAU tournament.
Mhm.
I had to go to Chicago, and we was on a bus. We was doing like a little van. We was driving to Chicago, 5 hour drive, and we stopped at a McDonald's. But on the way there, I get a text from my cousin. He was like, "Cuz," and I was like, "What's up? You heard Grandpa died?" I said, "I'm in the back," like, and my chest just caved in. Like I was just like, I just saw him like
Mhm.
5 days ago.
Yeah.
So when I get out the van, and like my mom and dad come up to me. I look at them and I'm just like, and they already knew I knew. And it was like, yeah. And I was just like, I couldn't believe it. And because like it was like the first like really like hit home for me.
Mhm.
It was like
And
it
how
was
I
it
don't
was
care, how old were you at the time?
I was 15. I
Mhm.
was 15, like that's what like the first one that hit that was the first hit home for me. Like I was just like I remember like I stayed so strong for the funeral because my dad was so messed up. My dad
Mhm.
was down. So I was just trying to be strong for him. And, I broke my tears, and everything, but it didn't hit me till like, I want to say my junior year. It was just one day I was listening to a song and I was listening to, that Wiz Khalifa song. It's been a long day. I was in that song
Yeah.
and it hit me. I
Yeah.
broke down. Like I just broke down. Like, and it was because I had my grandpa's obituary in my room on the top shelf.
Mhm.
And it was just propped up against this little thing I had on there, and it was just sitting straight up. So like if I looked up there, I could see his face. And I was just like I looked up there, and I just broke down, and I was just like, because it didn't really hit me like that, like
Yeah.
ever after the funeral, and I was just like, damn, and like it just lingers. Like that's when I knew like things just linger.
Yeah.
So then I feel like overall the course of everything, other people that I lost, like to natural causes, to sudden moments, to freak accidents, to violence, like you just you gotta just kind of accept the pain,
Mhm.
let the pain hurt, and then learn how to live through those people that you love and care about. Because I'm only able to say that because it took me so long to learn that. Like it really took me a really long time to learn that concept that yes, it's gonna hurt, yes, it's gonna suck, but at the end of the day, life has to go on because if they were here, they wouldn't want you to stop because they wouldn't.
Uh,
They wasn't,
yeah.
they wouldn't want you to stop. They wouldn't want you up there just because they're up there. They want
Yeah.
you to keep going, because like and that's when I realized that I just can't focus on the fact that they're gone. I have to focus on the fact of since they're gone, I gotta make them I gotta make them proud. I gotta cherish their name and
Mhm.
not, do the and like, just be sad and be so like they wouldn't want that. They wouldn't want that.
No.
They want me to be happy. So it's just it's not it's selfish. It's almost selfish to be sad. And like it's like to a point where you just want to give up everything just because that person is gone. Because that pain that you feeling because they left, you're gonna inflict the same exact pain on the people that love you if you was to leave.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, so I just feel like that's what I really, when you ask me how do I get through it, I just I feel it. That's the kind
Yeah.
of the most realest thing about I feel it. I feel the pain and I accept it and I move forward, and it's just like, yeah, I know there's gonna be days where I wake up and I think about the people that I lost. And I'm gonna sit there and
Mm,
cry for a couple hours. I'm gonna sit there and just cry because it's healthy to cry. I tell myself
yeah.
it's healthy to cry some days. And I'm
It,
just gonna keep going. Everything I keep going.
it like I love that you say that. It is so healthy to cry. Like also it is so healthy to talk. Like and
Yeah.
it is so important to talk to people that care about you, that you care about, and let them know what's going on in your life and see what's going on in their life because you never know what someone's got going on, right? You never know whether they've got this or at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what it is. Some always has some that they could get off their chest, right? Some always has some on their heart that they need to tell somebody, right? And that kind of piggybacks into the what we kind of talked about yesterday, and I it's it was such a tough story to hear, but I think it's an amazing story to share because when a few weeks ago, as I told you, I was on your Instagram and I seen a picture of one of your best friends, like your brother at the end of the day, David 10, right? And I seen you had like nobody commented on it, and I seen that you had a comment, and I went on and I was reading it, and it was all from 7 weeks ago, 10 weeks ago, like especially since you've been back overseas, that you've gone and you talked to him pretty often. You let him
Mm-hmm.
know what's going on in your life, and even though he's not here anymore, you
Mm-hmm.
still for you he's still everything, right? You still
Mm-hmm.
talk to him and ask him for his advice. And I seen that you were like how you were telling me yesterday how he was the one that made you fall in love with defense, really pushed you into basketball, told you that you were going to be great. I seen that there was a couple of times you thought about giving up, right? And you didn't stick. You stuck through it. And then the last one was actually a while back ago, and you said we did it 10. And I think even thinking about it now and reading it, bro, it almost brought me to tears. Like grown men cry, right? But it almost brought me to tears, and it's giving me chills because I love that, like that you there's still he's still so real for you. So could you share who David is and what he means to you and how
Yeah.
he has impacted your life even to this day?
So David is to me, and anybody else that ever asked him, anybody was asking about my older brother, because I had older sisters growing up, you know, and I always, it was just always wanted that big brother feeling. And so when I got to high school, and I made varsity and started playing. There was just these two twins on my team, David and Daniel, and they're my brothers.
Mhm.
Those are my older twin brothers, and uh, they really push me every day because they love defense, like they love defense, and
We know
I
you
was
do
one of
too.
the, and I not then I used to hate when they used to guard me every day. Like I was like, oh, here we go, because I was one of the better scorers on the team, so they would my coach would always put them on opposite team with me. So I gotta deal with them guarding me all day and them harassing me and them being all over me. But it made me who I was today, on both ends of the ball, just kind of being that dog. Cause like that's
Mhm.
who David was. David was a dog, like to the T, like the pure definition of a dog. Like didn't care how big, how strong, how tall, it didn't care. Like he was gonna have to show him that you was that good. He didn't care. He just didn't care. And like I feel like I care. I his mentality that it really rubbed off on me a lot when like just looking at who I am and who he was. But he was my high school teammate for 3 years. Uh, you know, when I got my car my sophomore year and I started driving all the games, he was riding shotgun listening to Migos, listening to anything we used to want to listen to. We'd be in there turned, be me and him just turned up, and and then when we get on the court, it was just like a connection. Like you would have thought it was like it was just like we knew exactly where we were on the court at all times. Like, and we had each other's back. Like that was the biggest thing. Like I knew like if I was to go down, Dave was gonna be the first person to pick me up. Knew that 100%. Like I could close my eyes and fall on the ground, and when I grabbed somebody's hand, I knew it was his jersey. I was open my eyes and I would see number 10 jersey every time. I knew that. I had no doubt in my mind. Like we had each other's back through everything on and off the court. Like I just felt like it was an inseparable bond that we had. And like thing is like it wasn't always just happy. We had our days where we would butt heads, where we arguing in practice, where we getting ready to go to blows. Like there was days where we was just there were days where I throw the ball at him, he'd throw it back at me, and they had to split us up. Like we there was heated moments like between me, him, and Daniel. Like there was a lot of heated moments, but that's what made our bond just that much stronger. Like so. And then my senior year, like they came back and watched my games. Like they came back for games. And like my biggest games. Like they came back for those games because they didn't want to miss it, And like them doing that, like even spoke more to like how much our relationship was, And like it was bigger than basketball. Like we were really like a family. That's why I say they're my big brothers. So I went to summer workouts, my first school, University of Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, my bad. University of Missouri, Kansas City, And we had our workouts. I just got out my shoulder surgery. I tore my labrum. I had fully recovered, but I couldn't do contact and I couldn't do bar lifting. I still had to do dumbbells for like lifting. So I was really in my last month, of recovery, and I struggled. I struggled because I was like I'm falling behind everyone. I'm not being able to play. Like I'm gonna be on the bench. Like I'm not really getting a chance to show that I can do this at the third. And it was just like I remember there was days I would talk to David and he would just be like, "You're good. Like just know, like when you get back, you're gonna hit the ground running." Like he was just keeping me positive about things because I was kind of down, and then uh it was so funny. He told me that he was going to switch sports, and I was just like, I had been back for a couple of weeks. You get a couple of weeks off after some workouts and everything, and I was back. I was like, "Oh, we can work out. We can get in the gym." Like, boom, boom. He was like, "Nah, I'm going to Fugitive Beach. Fugitive Beach is a little like cliff jumping pond, like lake type deal. Like lifeguards really careless. Like kind of like a place where like people go, but like people always been like, I don't know." But I was like, "Nah, don't go. Let's just stay here. We can go and get in the gym all weekend. We can chill, stand a third. Like we can do whatever. Just stay here." He was like, "Nah, I'm gonna go, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna lock in. Like I'm lock in until it's time for me to go back to school." Because the school he went to was D2, so they was on different schedule than me. Like he had longer time before he had to go back to campus.
And he was playing football,
So
right?
then, yeah, he was playing football, but he was going to switch, so he wasn't going to play football no more. But his brother played football, so they was going to go up anyway. He was going to go up anyway. So you go up there, and the crazy thing is his brother didn't go. No, his brother didn't even go. That was the crazy part. And I told him, I was like, "Come on, just stay." And and he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna go." So he go. Boom. I'm with my cousin. I haven't seen him since I've been back. So I went to go get food with my cousin. And I wasn't thinking nothing of it. Like I literally got screenshots on my phone of me talking to him on Twitter. And it was just like I remember it was like maybe a day or two before this phone call. And I'm sitting there at Denny's and I'm with my cousin. I just ordered my food. My food's about to come out. My food about to come out, right? Like I'm the waiter's coming to me and I get a phone call. It was from one of my old teammates. That was also my Davis teammate. Call me. I was like, I was like, he don't just call me out the blue, this time so I was like, someone gotta be up. Answer the phone. He was like, "Yo." He was like, "Yo." He's like, "Davis brain dead right now." Instantly.
Just those words.
Like I said, like my chest caved in when my grandpa died, But that one right there, like chest caving in was like an understatement. Like I felt like I literally just shut down. Like I almost wanted to like crawl under the table and just like in a ball and just he was like, check your phone. And he sent me a screenshot of the article that they had wrote. And I was just like, I couldn't believe like what I was reading. Like I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And he was like, B. And I was just sitting there like I couldn't say a word because he's like, B. And I was just like, I said, I gotta go. And my cousin back in my car. So he gets back. So David get put in the helicopter and goes back. He gets back to St. Louis, the hospital, like because it's one of the better hospitals in the area. And we get there, and he gets there, and I get to the hospital, and I'm just shaking. Like I can't think straight. Like I can barely think straight on the road. Like I'm just sitting there, like I just couldn't even wrap my head around what I'm about to like witness. And I get in the hospital, and I see everyone. I see his mom. I see Daniel. I see his sister. Like I see like loved ones and friends and family, like everybody there to support, like be there for him. And I get the opportunity now to go see him in this room. I go in the room, tubes, face swollen, just eyes closed, just laying there. And for me, that was one of the most heartbreaking moments because I've never seen him like that. Like my big brother, my older brother, my big like Mr. Invincible. Like
Superman.
That's who I looked at him as. Like that's who I looked at him as. Like, and this is what life. This is like someone that always did the right thing and pushes people to do the right thing. Like he pushed me to do the right thing. Like he never allowed me to get into no BS. Like never. Like he would rather put himself in a situation before letting me get in a situation. Like he always like he didn't play about me. And, like the only person that like I really feel like really like put me over him, and I was just like I was broken. Like I was sitting there like I couldn't even like get a word out. Like I was just like in shock. And like one of my it was crazy. My academic advisor was with me because we had the same academic advisor, and she was there and she was just holding me like because she knew how close we were. So she was just like she prayed for me and prayed for him, and like it was just after that day, like I didn't really leave much. I stayed there. I was there as much as I could be. Like I always was trying to be there as much as I could possibly be. And he was progressing. He was getting better, and it got to a point where they thought like maybe they can get him off the coma. And that night, he dropped everything, just drastically just goes down. And it was just like it got to the point where it was his time. And then just pulling that plug, like, on a fighter, like a natural born fighter. Like he fought. Like, I don't care what anybody says, like he fought. Like his body fought.
Yeah.
So like he was underwater for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, and still almost made it out.
That's insane.
Like he's a natural born fighter. Like he is the strongest person I've ever met in my life. Like to this day, I don't care what anybody says. Like that man, like strongest dude I ever know. Like mentally, physically, like emotionally, every aspect of life. David, 100%. And it was just like I remember at his funeral, like I had to take like 4 or 5 breaks and just walk outside and just cry because I didn't want to cry. I didn't want to cry in front of him. I didn't want to cry in front of him. Like I didn't want to cry in front of her. I had to just go outside and just really like let it out. Cause like I was gutted. Like just I was gutted. Just like that whole situation. And that really like kind of set me off for like a while. Like I went through a lot after that. I had to deal with a lot of pain, a lot of misery, a lot of depression. Like I had to deal with a lot, and dealing with other things that don't go my way, basketball, relationships, friendships, add that in there too. Like it ain't all, it ain't all sugar spice, everything nice. Life was rough. Life was rough for a while. and basketball was my escape. But there was also times that basketball was my escape. Basketball was even making it worse because I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. I
Yeah.
was frustrated. I was upset. I was trying, like I was worried about other things with basketball, but at the end of all, basketball is my escape from all this,
Hmm.
and it's just you talk about, me talking to David in that post, like at first I was calling his number still,
Yeah. No,
like,
that's
like,
why I asked you yesterday. I asked you about his name because you never said it's always 10. We did it 10.
yeah,
10. We did
like,
it. Yeah.
yeah, like on social media, I ain't gonna sit there and just keep dropping the name.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's not,
I
like,
respect it.
that's just, but when everything first happened, I was texting him. I
Mm.
was calling him. Like, I was leaving messages. Like, it was like, because for so long, like, it felt like he wasn't gone for me.
Yeah.
Like, when something good would happen, I would pick up the phone and try to call him, and I'd be
Mm.
like, for so long, I still felt like he was right here, like right
Mm.
next to me, and I was just like, I had to like get over that. Like, I couldn't get over that for so long. So, it was my junior year. I had a real bad, like, just breakdown. Like,
Mm.
I lost. I had really melted down, and I really had went in the hospital for a week. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't know. A lot of people don't know that, like, I actually went in the hospital for a week, and like, I had no problem, like, being open about that, like, because that that week that I was in the hospital, I had no phone, no
Hmm.
laptop, no nothing, no PS5, no PS4, no none. It was just me, four walls, some doctors, and other patients. And that's when things got eye opening. Like, I was around people that had went through like war PTSD and like alcoholism. And there was like a dude that was trying to get dry clean off meth in there. Like, seeing like people like that, like, compared to what I was going through, like
Hmm.
what I was dealing with, like, it almost made me like embrace the help that they were giving me, because I don't want to go down no path like this. I want to be able to get better. I want to be able to get to a point where I can be better and not have to, keep doing this. Because
Yeah.
I even asked him, how many times has he been here? Like, this not his first time. Like, no,
Hmm.
it's like a third or fourth time. Like, it's just like, how long has he been here? Oh, he's been here for a few months. Few
Yeah.
months. Oh, he's been here for a year. A year. Like, I couldn't live in a hospital like that for a year. Like,
And
no way.
and that was it's funny you say it like that because so going through a lot of my recovery, right? I obviously had a lot of doctors and stuff. And so one of my doctors was a neurologist and the pain management doctor. And I had to go there like once a month for like the first 5 months or so, right? A couple of times a month at one
Mm-hmm.
point. And every time I went in there, I seen the same people. Like they were only there for one because it was like I said, it's a pain management office. Like if you have pain or something, you go in there to get your opioids, whatever. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, even though I still had two broken feet, I was I made sure I got off my pain meds in 6 weeks. I had to keep going there for other reasons because they had to run tests and all that type of stuff. But I wasn't. They asked me if I want any more. I was like, nah, I do not want those. Like because even though like I weaned off them very very slow and easy.
Mm-hmm.
The day that I stopped taking any of them, I was in my bed the whole day, like like had the chills, sweat, and I was like, because I mean, it was only 6 weeks, and like I actually weaned off them for a week, so I was like,
Yeah.
these people are like have been in here. So we would talk to a couple of people, and people got in car accidents 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago, and they're still coming in for pain meds, and I was like, see, that can't be me. Like how you're saying, like you've seen these people that have this going on or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, and I've got it pretty bad right now, but I'm not gonna let this suck me in. Like,
Yeah.
thank you for showing me this. Thank you for letting me go through this so I can make sure that I will never go down that path.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. So, like, I was going through that, and like, I had a real problem with, like, like, therapists, because like, I was 16. I had went to a therapist about, like, I had some issues, like, mentally, because, I was going through some things, like back at home, and you know, the therapist just up and left without saying nothing. Like I had finally got comfortable with somebody, and that person just up and left and didn't even say nothing to me. Like didn't even give me the disclosure. Like I'm about to leave. Like I'm going here. If you like nothing, he just disappeared,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, how can someone like of the profession do that? Like do me like and it wouldn't like do me like that. Just do anyone like that, you know. So I was like, nah, I'm good. Like I'm just gonna go through. I'm just gonna deal with pain and the things I got going on in my life by myself. I don't need nobody else. I really
Yeah.
closed myself off. But when I was in that hospital, like they made me talk to people. Like I had to talk to them, and like
Yeah.
talking to them really opened up like my eyes to what I was really like dealing with. You know, like they
Mm-hmm.
told me I was dealing with survivor's guilt. You
Yeah.
know that and like I've never heard that term.
Mm-hmm.
So I at the time, so when I heard that, I was like, whoa, you're like, I was like, I was like, damn, like, because I did feel guilty about the
Yeah.
situation. I felt guilty. Like I felt like I could have did something about that. I
Mm-hmm.
could have stopped that from happening. You know, I always had that guilt on my mind. And just for hear them say that, like it kind of like opened like a gate for me to, walk through and like start to, really like kind of like cope,
Yeah.
you
See,
know,
that's
and
oh,
and like that, and they told me like, what are the ways like to express yourself? And I like writing. And I like writing and like,
mm,
or I
I
like just
love
like
to write.
kind of like, or like just like, because that's easily for me. Like I don't like, like talking is like
Mm-hmm.
good, like, but like you can only talk to so many people that you
Yeah.
trust, and you don't want to, bother them all the time. So you just write, and I me writing in the comment section under that post when I first posted that picture when he passed, it gives me that feeling that I'm talking to him because there was a day in that hospital that I really truly felt that I talked to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like really down bad like in there because I was struggling with the fact that I had no communication with anybody. Like only way I could talk to people was if I got on the little phone in there and they called me. They had to call me. Like I couldn't call nobody, but they had to call me. And even if they called me, I had to still approve if I wanted to talk to them or not because there's some days that I didn't want to talk to people. But it was a day that I didn't talk to nobody. Like I was in the mood to talk to nobody, and I just sat in my room all day. Like I didn't do none of the meetings, none of that stuff. Like I just sat in my room because you had a choice. You could do whatever you want. Like,
Yeah.
but like they can't force you to do nothing. Like you just want to sit in your room all day. You can sit in your room all day. You can just come out when you want
Mm-hmm.
to eat. And I had sat in my room all day. And we ain't got no windows. We ain't got no TV. It's just four walls, a bathroom, and two single beds. And my roommate, he was gone. So it was me and him. And I had the lights off, I had everything off, boom, I was in the dark. And I just hear B. And I either I was dreaming, I don't know what it was, but I just keep hearing B. And then I really recognized whose voice it was. So like I opened my eyes. Like either I opened my eyes in the dream or whatever it was. But it was David.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, he was like, he was like, you've been hurting for a long time about me. He addressed it. It was like he'd been watching me the whole time. He's like, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good. Like I just need you to be good. Like, cause I need you to be who are capable of being on and off the court. Like I need you to be okay with me being gone because I'm always gonna be right here. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
always like it was like I had a conversation with him of just reassurance that like he's gone, but I still got your back because he knew that that's what I feared. Like
Mm-hmm.
David, like the person that had my back's gone. Now who has my back? You
Yeah.
know, who's gonna be there to really have my back like that? Because like I'm not saying that there's no one else that didn't have my back because there's
Yeah.
obviously other people in my life that like they're like yeah like they really gonna ride or they gonna spend for me like like I got like some guys that I'm really tied into that I
Mm-hmm.
really love and care about that I call my brothers but like I'm saying like, at an aspect of like since I was in high school like because I didn't go to high school. It was all my childhood friends. All my
Yeah.
childhood friends, we all went to different schools. So like someone that I had my back with, like at that school, like that was him. Like and I grew
Mhm.
comfortable with that. So it's just like when that happened, like when that conversation happened, I instantly got up, ate, went to talk to the doctors. I started being active with my recovery and just kind of like doing what I needed to do to really recover and get out of the hospital.
Mhm.
I get out of the hospital, and that's when I start writing to him. I start writing to him, in my notes, just kind of updating him on what's going on. Because I also just went through a coaching change, and
Mhm.
it was just like, I was like, I don't know how it's going to go. I'm deciding to stay, so like I got, I just kept talking to him. And there was times that it didn't go my way in this first season because, like just, new coach, new system, it takes time to work those things out to make things, go your way. And, first year, it was ups and downs with me talking to Tim. Like
Yeah.
there'd be good days, I update him, and there'd be bad days. But then, next year it was good days and bad days. But I didn't start writing in the social media, like my that post,
Mhm.
until like just recently because it got to a point where I'm gonna let people know that this is who I truly am living
Yeah.
through. Like this is a part of my heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like this is something that I really, really, really cared about, and I really, really wished I was here to see what I'm doing because I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for him. And everyone needs to know that. And that's where it got. That's when it got to that point.
And I love
So yeah,
I love to hear that. Like I because it seemed like we've been talking about a lot of trauma and sad things, but the way you finish
mm,
it off and how you said that you've seen him and like he said you've been down for a long time, but I'm good, I promise. Like
yeah,
that left me speechless for a little bit. I honestly didn't know what I was going to say to that. It's amazing. And it's for anybody that watches you play basketball, the way you've described him, you could tell that he lives on through you. He's definitely a
yeah,
part of you. Like the
yeah,
the dog that you say that he has in him, he instilled defense into you. Like I I love like I remember the first game I watched you play last year. I just fell in love with it. We're not playing nobody good, whatever, but you got the most energy on the court, screaming, getting hype, playing defense,
yeah.
and you could just tell that you love the game of basketball and you love him. Like you guys shared that, and so like for you, that's definitely a way that you guys have a powerful connection to this day.
I just wish there was still able to way for me to get highlights, or like not even highlights, game film from like them 2 seasons. Like I wish I could get game film. I just like that's what I did like early on. I watched game film. Like I really just sit there and watch game film, like high school games.
Just watching you guys
Like
play together again.
yeah, like even like cause I could still. It was crazy. I could put up on YouTube because our school used to stream YouTube recordings, and you can go back and watch the games.
I could
So I
pull it
could
up on
definitely
here and
go.
share the screen.
Yeah, man, that would be
Another
crazy.
time, another
No,
time.
but no, yeah, like just like I remember early on, I watched him play, and I'm just like, damn, I play just like him. Like I'm just like, it's like, damn, he rubbed off on me so bad. Like I smile, like I just miss seeing him play. Like I look at videos and pictures I have of him, and it's just like, you know, I wish I could just hear his voice again. Like
Yeah.
every day. But some
Hmm.
days are harder than others. But yeah, like we were talking about a lot of trauma, but like I said, like you got to move forward and like
It
you
shapes
know,
you into who
in a
you are.
in a way, it made me a lot tougher.
Hmm.
Like mentally, like not like in an aspect of like or like I'm a tough guy and there, but like adversity doesn't bother me the way
No.
it used to. Like
Hmm.
I used to hate
I
when
feel
things didn't
that.
go my way. I used to hate when things go my way. After David went, all I say is God got me.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Like God got me because I can't. I can't change what happens. I
No.
can't. I don't know what's happening next, and I can go in there and take a pencil and say, "Nah, I want this to happen," and make it
Yeah.
happen. Nah, I just gotta go through life, and whatever life throws at me, I gotta take it and keep going.
You're here breathing today.
You just gotta be. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you just gotta be like in the moment. Like there be days I just like don't be on my phone because I want to be in the moment of what life is. Because I don't know what could happen in this 24 hours
Mm,
that that in a blink of an eye my life can in a blink of an eye my life can drastically change. So
yeah,
why would I sit there and worry about next week? Who says I'm gonna make it next week?
yeah.
What if God has it? I don't have the I don't have till next week. That was in God's plan.
You never
Like
know.
hope is not, but you know we never know. That's what I'm saying. Like
Mm,
I gotta worry about what am I gonna do tomorrow? What am I gonna do the next day?
mm,
Or what am I gonna do right now to prepare for the next day? That's what I gotta think about.
exactly.
Like, but it's always what am I doing that day to get better? That's what I always.
Mm,
That's really one of my mottos I live by is did I get better today? Did I get 1% better today? Like I'm
mm,
not asking for 5%, 10. No, I did get 1% better today.
mm.
Because as long as I'm getting 1% better each day, I'm just gonna keep going until that either it's time to go home or I get to where I want to get in life. But I can't look too far ahead and just worry about oh when I get here, oh when I do this, oh no, I gotta do this, I
No.
gotta do it.
Every day is going to present a hell of a lot of new set of challenges, whether it's small, big, whatever it is. Like to this day, I still deal with small challenges, like pain, doing different appointments, this, that, lawyers, all that type of stuff. And
Right.
especially early on, like that was the only thing that ever affected me was like the outside stuff, worrying about the legal aspect or the bills after this, that, and like how you said, you had to learn what like to deal with the first like this 24. Like I would be sitting there and like would start getting worried because like I had like it got to a point like early even from the first day like I didn't really I had felt like my anxiety and depression were done for because I finally saw life for what it is, right?
You know, we talked about it. Like I didn't hear it from like you personally. Like I didn't get
Mm-hmm.
to like talk to you. Like I had opened up my phone and I looked at Instagram and I had just seen the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And I really haven't even talked about that initial reaction. But so we'll get into that on air too, because but what kind of led up to your whole accident? Because there's been enough about me and what I've been through. We could talk about that for multiple episodes, but
Yeah. I
we
mean,
were,
we
but
got a lot of episodes to go. So
we got episodes, but yeah. So I really want to know kind of like what led up to the accident because I remember I had just I was talking to my mom, my Florida mom, my second mom. I love her to death, but I was talking to
mhm.
her about you and Colin and CP. Like she was asking about you guys, and she was like, "Have you talked to them?" I said, "Yeah, I talked to Colin, but I haven't talked to Chris and CP." And it was so crazy that we had a conversation because like later on in that drive, like I checked my phone and I was just like my heart caved in. I was just like
Mhm.
my stomach was in the and like my heart was in my stomach. I was like I had not read anything and like I hadn't read the caption. Like I had just seen the
Yeah.
picture and just seeing that picture kind of just like brought a lot of shit back. And I was
Mhm.
just like I was just like so yeah, like what led up to, everything,
The crazy part about it is like at the end of the day, it was really just any other day.
right.
It was a Thursday night. I mean, it ended up happening Friday morning at 2 a.m. But
Mm-hmm.
so it was a Thursday. I was staying at my dad's house at the time because I was working at my family's bowling alley in Kissimmee. My dad lived out that way, right? So I was staying at his house for a little bit, working, and whatever. I had gone to work that night, and for some reason on the drive there, whatever, like my back started killing me, right? Like I had the worst back pain I've ever dealt with in my life, like
Mm-hmm.
crazy. I don't know how to describe it. So I get to work and I get there and I'm like, guys, I gotta go sit, I gotta go nap in the office or sit down or someone's gotta give me some like icy hot or some because I can't stand here all night. I can't work, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like my back is killing me. So I go in the
Right.
office and they give me the icy hot and put the patch on my back and I take a nap for a couple hours. Wake up about like 9 or not 9. I don't know. I don't even know. That was a while ago. But I wake up a couple hours later, probably about 8 to 9, whatever. I worked the rest of the night, um, close up, whatever. And then I just start headed home. And I'm driving down John Young Parkway. It's a kind of like a highway in Kissimmee going towards my dad's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I come up, there's to as we get to about Point Siena, which is like the city in between, there is construction going on the highway. So I had to go take a right at this intersection and go to what's called Old Tampa Highway. It's just like a little back road. Take that
Mm-hmm.
road up to back to John Young Parkway to keep going towards my pop's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my heart's starting to beat. Sorry to talk about this right now. It's weird. But so I pull up to the stop sign to get onto the highway. And I promise you, that's the last memory that I have. I took that right, and then not even 20, 30 seconds later, not even a quarter of a mile, I was in a head-on collision, like literally, like what they say happened. Like I said, I have no memory of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was
Obviously.
absolutely no witnesses to the accident whatsoever. I know I couldn't have fallen asleep. Like my back was like I'm pretty sure I was driving with like one hand on the steering wheel, one hand on my back, right? Trying to like
Right.
prop it. Like, there's no way that I fell asleep. Like I'm 20 at the point I was 22 years old. I've driven over 300,000 miles in my life. Literally, all I do is
Right.
drive. So I so basically what they say is somehow, some way, I took this right, and then it's literally a 2 lane highway, and there's guardrails on the side because it's a little bridge. So they say somehow I somehow fell asleep, whatever. I swerved into this railing, and I hit this railing, and whatever happened, I hit it, and then I just overcorrected myself, and I came like head on, like literally head on into the person coming the other lane. Um, I don't know, like there was, I mean, I don't want to speak about it because there could have been, some of it, whatever. I don't want to speak on there, and that's what they say happened, right? So I was in a head-on collision predicted to be at about 60, 65 miles an hour. I I shouldn't be here talking to you today. I
Yeah.
I should be in a grave at the end of the day. I'm super blessed, to be alive and breathing. And
Right.
that's how I've grown to appreciate every moment for what it is, right? So like I said, I took that right, and my memory goes. Um, it's weird what kind of describe this to people because I still don't know how to describe it at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But from that point that I don't have a memory to the point that I woke up the next day, it was almost just like I don't know if I saw it, like I was just seeing red.
Ooh,
God bless you. I don't know if I
thank
was
you.
like just seeing red or like my like my brain, like my eyes tried to open up, or like like my consciousness tried to like see what was going on at some point. And like my subconscious like you don't need to see this. Like I don't know if I was just like seeing flashes through the night or whatever. But I just remember like
Mm-hmm.
an overarching feeling of fighting for my life, right? Because by the time that I woke up, like how you saw that picture on my Instagram with the tube in my throat, just how
Mm-hmm.
Damar Hamlin recently, he just got the tube out of his throat today. I had the same thing. I was awake for 36 hours with that in my throat. Um, so between that point, up until that point that I woke up, um, I just remember like like a feeling of fighting for my life. Because by the time I woke up, I was just so relieved. Like there was no anxiety, there was no worriness. I was just so relieved. But like also because like I told you recently, is when I opened my eyes, the first person I saw was Colin, like one of my best friends in the whole, like my brother, like just like how David is for you, like my brother. And I saw my best friend, like literally all of my best friends, all of my family, everybody that I loved in the world was there when I opened my eyes, like later that night. And I was just so relieved because I knew I just won the toughest battle of my life. But
Yeah.
to answer that question of what led up to it, it was just a normal day, just going about my life how I do, and shit happens.
So my next question would be: you got two broken feet. You sitting there. You say, you worry about the bills, the lawyers. What motivated you to be like, I'm gonna get back on my own 2 feet? Because some people would be like, I got 2 broken feet. I'm not gonna be able, it's gonna take forever to get back. They're worried about everything else, but the fact that they can get back on their 2 feet. Like you really got back. Like you really like I really like all. I stayed in touch with you. Like
Mhm.
after I found out, like I was trying to follow your progress as much as I could, as long like while I was doing everything I was doing. Like and like you worked your ass off to get to where you're at now. Like, and I'm just like it was so amazing, like to me to see someone see someone do that. Like,
Mhm.
I've known people that like them. I know people that got in an accident and they just said, I'm done for. Like, I'm not gonna be
Mhm.
able to get back. But you said even in the post, he was like, I'm awake. It's not the end. Like
Mhm.
God got something for me. Like this is only the beginning. Like of my next chapter. Like just seeing you be so positive from the jump. Like being able to post about it that positively and that proudly. Like that just I was just in awe of how much strength you had at that point in time. Like even at a point of at your lowest physically wise, you're still that strong, at every other aspect to be able to
Mhm.
do what you did. Like,
Yeah.
just go on social media and be open about it. Motivate yourself to getting back on your 2 feet. Like, just what really drove you? Like, that's what I want to know. Cause
So
it's
I mean,
crazy.
it's really a loaded answer. So it'll take a while. I'm not gonna lie, because
Yeah.
I mean, to start, really, like I said, like when I first woke up, it was all like one of the first things. Um, like just before I even said because like how you see now Damar Hamlin, like they were talking about how he was communicating through writing. Before I even tried to
Mm-hmm.
do that, the first thing that I thought to myself was, all right, we have a decision to make, like, or because also really like, and this is so weird to. I don't know how to communicate to some people when I say it like this, but in some ways, I almost feel like I manifested my accident in terms because I had,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I always had anxiety and I had dealt with depression. And I had like, especially that year, like that past year, I had a lot going on in
Mm-hmm.
my life. Like, and I don't like it wasn't anything like serious, like, you know what I'm saying? It was just I've always been like for some reason I've always been a person that I take other people's problems on as my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's one of the things I've learned not to do, but I used to always do that. And so it always held me back in my life, and I knew that, right? And that depressed the fuck out of me. Like, because I knew that I was holding
Mm-hmm.
myself back because, I was so worried about everything else everybody has going on in their lives, right? And
Right.
so like that was I knew that was always holding me back. And then is everything going on in my life, right? Just worrying about this, worrying about that, staying up all night, not going to sleep, doing this, doing that, just running around all the time, right? I was already at the lowest point
Mm-hmm.
in my life, right? So when I woke up from the accident, I knew I was like, shit, we're at the bottom. There's literally no way but up from here. Like that was literally one of my first. I was like, oh, like I was kind of like how I said I was relieved. I don't want to say I was
Mm-hmm.
happy that this happened to me, but I would like when I seen that it's almost like a way that God was trying to say something to me, right? Because I was already planning on
Mm-hmm.
trying to slow down and stuff, but I had 2 broken feet. I literally can't move, right? I literally can't move. So he's like, all right, yeah, you got to slow down now, all right? And so like I was almost kind of like happy. I was like, I don't have to do anything for a long time. I could just chill. I could get to do whatever. Like, and because like I had a lot to deal with, like on top of the two surgically repaired feet, like I told you.
Mm-hmm.
I had tried like elbowing. I don't know if you could tell on camera, but like I had tried like
Mm-hmm.
elbowing my way out my car, and really damaged my elbow. And up until like just recently, because I couldn't even get back in the gym for the first, like even when I was back on 2 feet because of my arm.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Right.
even early on, um, a lot of people don't know, but um, I had my whole so upon the crash, my whole spleen literally just popped. So I had what's called a stage 5 spleen tear. So what that means, like at the minimum, my spleen was cut like torn in half. So by the
Mm-hmm.
time I got to the hospital, they knew I was internally bleeding, but they didn't know how, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they had to completely cut, like I'm cut open right down the middle. They had to do what's called an exploratory laparotomy, take out all my organs, see what's wrong with them, remove my spleen,
Wow.
and then they they didn't. They found I had a lacerated liver, and during that one, so I was on the table for about 10 hours. And like if you ever talk to my mom, she has to talk about hours about how the hospital was not letting her know anything, and it was kind of crazy. But I was on the table for 10 hours the
Yeah.
first time, and then apparently they brought me back to the room after it was done, and then my lungs started to collapse because I don't know from what. Oh, actually, do I know? So from the internal bleeding, so much blood had leaked through into my lungs that a piece of it
Mm-hmm.
literally died. So they had to cut a piece. They had to cut it off and whatever. So I had a chest tube, um, stuck in doing that, all that, and then I also had a stomach tube that was for feeding me through. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because I literally didn't even eat the whole time I was there.
Yeah.
Literally didn't eat at all. Um, so like by the time I woke up and I seen everyone, like I said, it brings me chills every time I think about it because it makes me so happy to know that because if anything happened to any of the people close to me in my life, I would be there right away. No questions asked. Whatever I got going on, I don't care. I'm there. Like so to know that they were there, and it's kind of funny because me and Kaden were talking last night about it
Mm-hmm.
because I was telling him I was like I don't ever really think about any of this anymore, right? Because this is the first period of my life that I just lived it, and I don't like go back and think about it besides a couple points.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about the hospital, and he's like, "Bro, I feel bad I couldn't be there." And I was like, "Wait, what? You weren't there?" And he was like, "No, you don't remember? I FaceTimed you every day, but I had COVID, so I literally couldn't." I was like, "I don't even remember. I assumed you were there, bro. So just know it's all love. Like this whole time I thought you were there, so you shouldn't have told me." But so knowing like having them all them there, and knowing that my whole family was there behind me, um, and they pushed me like they wanted the best for me from the beginning, and they were help. It was like how you said you knew you said it like felt selfish to be down about everything because they wouldn't
Yeah.
like the people that you've lost wouldn't want you to be feeling this way. It felt selfish of me to not be positive or to not, or it would be selfish of me to be a
Right.
dick to my mom or like be depressed as fuck and like all this, all that.
Yeah.
And then like speaking about the posts early on, like I just knew right because how you said you love writing, I love to write too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I like if I write, I want someone to read it. I think kind of at the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I journal and stuff, but like I love to write. I think I can articulate myself well, and I want to share my thoughts to people. And especially from this, I knew that I people are gonna go. There's gonna be a bunch more accidents, like maybe not as bad as mine. People are gonna have this go on there like this, that, and if I can do it, you can too. That was really my whole thing because I mean I think like I've never been a person that likes to post on Instagram. I don't take pictures
Right.
at all. I really don't take pictures. It just was
Right.
never me. But I knew like finally I had a story to share. I had something that could make a positive impact on people, and I wanted to share that to people because they like I said they're gonna be going through stuff too. And if I can, because like I said, I'm blessed here to be here every day. I feel like I should have died in that. For some reason I'm here. For some reason I need to share this story. Like that. That's the way I see it too. Like I cannot be depressed about it because I was literally given the gift of surviving it. Like I could have died in it. Why? I'm not gonna be depressed about it. Like
Right.
that's really the simple answer to it. I don't even have to go that long. I think.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. No, I remember kind of like, the first like kind of like reaction, like I first seen everything, like, cause like I said, like I had, like kind of like made it known, like I hadn't talked to you in a minute, like
Mhm.
it's been a minute. I've been working out, going to combines, like doing everything. I was kind of just, getting my shit together. Colin was working out. It's like I seen him a couple of times because he was working out. Well, not really working out. He was recovering from his shoulder surgery
Mhm.
at the time, so he was still there. But he was back and forth. Either I miss him or I just catch him before he was going back to the crib.
Mhm.
So you know, but when I started, I was like, my heart just like ached. I was like, God, please don't take nobody, don't take him from me right now. Like, please don't, like, because it was different. Like, like 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 you said the Miami trip, like we actually like after like my team, like y'all was the first people that I really like hung
Mm-hmm.
out with, like outside of the team, like you, CP, and Devin, like y'all was like the first group of guys like I really hung out with,
Mm-hmm.
like in college, obviously, but like like and we was turned, like we had like a lit week, like that was like
Lit
crazy,
week.
but like
Lit week.
like going out there, I was like, damn, like I don't know how I'm gonna like mesh with these guys, like I don't, and Colin was like, you're gonna be straight, they super chill. And I was like, but when y'all pulled up, I was like, nah, we finna be lit. Like I was cool. Like and that so I'm saying like y'all was just like I really like tied in with y'all. And then, like thinking about the trip we took after SEC tournament when we went out back out there,
Yeah.
and just like even just like being with like everybody, like I remember like I was like, nah, like these my dogs right here, like CP, Chris, like them my dogs. Like, so when it happened, I was just like, man, God, I'm gonna be sick if you take my boy from me. But that was really like my first kind of like statement. I was like, I'm gonna be sick if you take him from me, like for real. Like this is the last person I would expect you to take from me. So if you take him too, I'm gonna be sick. Like and then like I kind of like read everything, and like I got past like he good, but just please like get my boy back on his feet. Like I was like I pray, I was like, God, like, like you didn't put Christians, in this bit of adversity right now. But
Mm-hmm.
as his friend, like I ask you to put him back on his 2 feet
Yeah.
in due time. Like I know not tomorrow, not in due time, let him work, let him do what he need to do to get back, but put him back on his 2 feet, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And you know, my I could I that's why I just kept praying every day until I got the updates on Instagram. You get one of the boots off, then you stand up on two. Like I'm just like I just kept praying. I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. It was just but that initial reaction, like my heart just dropped, like my chest caved in, heart in my stomach. Like I'm just like I was because it was just so crazy how I just said something to you about how
Mm-hmm.
I talked to you, and I see that I'm just like, now let me not being able to talk to him one more time,
Yeah.
and it was just like that's what really hurt.
Yeah. I know that's gotta be the hardest one to swallow. But like
Mm-hmm.
it's funny how you say like talking about how I got, one boot off, then I'm up on two, whatever. Because like even though I lived, like how I was saying, like I lived it, but like I don't even really think about it no more. And like when you said it, kind of started to give me chills because like I just remember the whole time that like I had dates almost set for everything, right? Like when this is gonna happen, when that's gonna happen, this, that.
Mm-hmm.
So like, all right, so like the accident happened July 8th, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
um I didn't have a good experience in the first, like the hospital experience was terrible. That's a whole nother story. So like they didn't like I didn't listen to this real quick actually. So when I woke up, right, I had the tube in my throat, whatever. I got it out the next day. The first thing I said was like, yo, because they didn't have my right foot like in a boot or anything. It was just sitting out, right, and it hurt the whole time. And that's the foot that is like really fucked up. Like I broke my right talus and have it surgically repaired. Like it's the most weight bearing bone in your foot. They didn't have it
Mm-hmm.
wrapped up. So I was like, yo, can you guys check my foot? Like it hurts. So like it was a terrible hospital experience. So like I don't want to do this. The doctor who did perform my surgeries, to my knowledge, actually reached out to my mom personally because he knows someone, a close family friend, and was like, yeah, if you can get him here, we're gonna take care of him. His name is Dr. Todd McCall. Anybody in Central Florida, however, if you need any orthopedic done, whatever, him and his team are absolutely amazing, and I love all of them. They're perfect. They do a great their job. You can barely see my scars, whatever. So yeah, so I leave that hospital. I believe it was like July 14th or 13th, something like that, or no,
Mm-hmm.
12th. I don't remember. It was like a Wednesday the next week. I go home. Then I go to his office. They do their X-rays, and they're like, oh yeah, you have these two broken bones in each of your feet. Um, but my left foot, right? They told me that because of a broken I had a broken fibula, and like it wasn't that bad. And I was supposed like since it was two broken feet, I'm gonna be off my feet anyway, so there was no like need to repair it at the time. So they go, they do surgery on my right foot. I think it was July 14th. They did that surgery. Do that surgery. I go back 3 weeks later for the checkup. They run both the X-rays, and then the doctor comes back in, and straight away you see in his face, like, I was like, oh, just tell me what's the news. And he's like, we're gonna have to repair the left one. So I'm like, ah, fuck. So right, so I'd already gone through the right one, and keep in mind, prior to this, I've never been injured at all. I've never been severely sick, so I've never had any surgeries at all like this. My first
Right.
one, that foot surgery, like, doctors will tell you like that one hurts so bad. Like I would never want to go through that again.
Nah,
But then
yeah.
so like that was the first surgery I've ever really had to deal with, besides the fact of, the one that I don't remember being through.
Mhm.
And then so they tell me I get surgery again, and like again there, I was like, all right, let's do it. Like I could have gotten sad. I'm like, whatever. But I was like, let's go. Like, all right, we gotta do it. Cool. So I go, they do that, and then so I was off my feet at that point when they did the surgery for 3.5 weeks or something. And then from
Mhm.
that point, it was 6 weeks until I could, or it was 4 weeks until I got both the casts off. It's like September 1st or 2nd, I got both my casts off, and they put me in walking boots. I couldn't walk
Mhm.
on them yet, but I was still in the wheelchair, and I could like take them out during the day and like move my feet around to start getting some mobility. And then so from there, it was like, all right, 2 weeks. You could put 50% of your weight on this boot, or on the left one. And then a week after that, 100%. And then still, at that point, another 5 weeks from that was when I could start putting any pressure on my right foot. So 3 months from the surgery was when I could put any pressure on the right foot. So it was like everything was a timeline. And even in that whole time, I don't think I ever told you this. There was so August 12th, like a little bit over a month after the accident, I woke up one morning, went to the bathroom because my stomach was hurting, still kind of hurt. Go back to my room, start eating a protein bar, and I'm playing Madden, I think, with our boy Ryan. And I was like, oh, bro, I gotta go. I gotta like lay down. My stomach hurts. And all of a sudden, boom, like just big, like my like top part of my stomach, or like, because like I said, like I was cut open in the middle, so we didn't know what was wrong. I don't have a spleen. I have different organs messing up. It's still a month after the accident, fresh.
Mhm.
Biggest, like worst pain I've ever had in my life. Like I start screaming. The neighbors heard me, like screaming, screaming, screaming. And my mom's coming. She's like, we can call the. I'm like, call the ambulance. Just call them, because I still have my cast on at this point, right? So I can't stand up. I can't move around. I don't know what's going on. I'm just curled up in a ball, like
Mhm.
sweating. Paramedics get there. They get me in the wheelchair, um, and then they're like trying to like, bro, literally to get rid of the pain. I sat there and gave myself a panic attack, just so I started hyperventilating just so I didn't feel that pain. I literally I almost made myself pass out. I'm sitting in a wheelchair, and like as I start going like this, and I start like almost seizing, and then I scared myself there. It was a whole, like, I was like, what the fuck? So then I kind of snap out of that. By that time, they have me back in the um, ambulance, right? I don't have a shirt. I'm literally just in a pair of underwear, and I'm sweating my ass off, screaming, screaming. They're trying to ask me all these questions. I'm just like screaming them back to her. And then I just finally, like, I was sweating, so I was like, I need blanket. I'm cold. I'm cold. Put a blanket. They put two blankets on me. I curl up in a ball, right?
Mhm.
Okay, this sounds so funny, bro. I curl up in a ball. I end up farting, bro, and
Yeah.
all gone, all gone, right? And at that, we had just put up to the hospital, so they get me on the gurney. But I'm still sweating, so like I'm almost still kind of hyperventilating because I like just lost so much like body fluid and sweating. So I have like
Yeah.
6 blankets on me at this point. They bring me in the room and like they're asking me, I'm like, yeah, I'm fine now. Like it's not here, but it's fine. And so they run a test. They run a CAT scan like 5 hours later, or whatever. And it just can't. Well, they found that I had kidney stone, like a couple of kidney stones, but they found that I just had a lot of gas built up in my stomach. And being the fact that I couldn't stand up on my feet and like move around or anything,
You
and
couldn't
like
get it out.
to move it around, it was just stuck in there. And like they said like grown ass men have like came in for the same thing. They tell me that, like, no, like they start throwing fits, like, there's no way. I was like, bro, I believe you, because it was literally the worst pain of my life, dog. And then when they told me it was from gas, I was like, you're lying. So like I had a bunch of different shit to deal with the whole time. So when I had that schedule planned out, even though I'm
Yeah.
ready and excited, I'm doing everything I can every day just to make sure I'm healthy for that point, right? Because even I shouldn't have been released to my knowledge, I shouldn't be released from my doctors, but I'm released from my orthopedics. Like every doctor that I've had is like, you're moving at a crazy rate. So like I'm very blessed in that. If I sat there the whole time and worrying about, oh, we gotta get there, or not doing the
Yeah.
best I can each day, I don't think I'd be where I'm at right now.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I just go back to, just getting 1% better every day.
That's all you
You
can do.
you just being present in the day. I got these challenges I gotta take on today, and I'm gonna give them my best. I'm not gonna give my energy nowhere else but the tasks and the objectives I gotta get today to get better for the day.
Mm.
That's just the biggest thing. You know, yeah,
And it is all you can do.
yeah. So you can, man. No, that's crazy, bro. You say I don't know how I did what I do. I don't know how you did what you did, but like waking up like that, like going through that. Like I didn't woke up from a surgery before, but waking up from that, like, nah, that's some strong shit right there.
And so you asked me the question, and like how I told you the first time when I texted you, like this podcast, the way I thought it would make so much sense is because the two of us have just dealt with two completely different forms of trauma and dealt with it
Yeah,
in very great ways so far. So
yeah,
people could see both ends of it. Like, he went through the worst, physical trauma you could possibly go through, really, right? And he's here talking. He's here talking right now. And like we talked about earlier, you've been through a lot yourself, and you're here right now. You're still playing basketball. Your story's still being written. You haven't
yeah,
fallen to like, the easy things to do back home, or to get back into some shit that you shouldn't be into. Right? Keep going
exactly.
every day. Make the best decision you can every day.
This is definitely gonna be something big. Once we get everything rolling, this is only the beginning. This is only the pilot, man. We got some hard shit going.
I think so.
Just imagine like when we really get into the swing, we start getting our guys on like for
Oh yeah.
guests. It's just gonna it's just gonna be big. I'm excited for the potential that we have with this.
First guest
Huge.
next week.
First
Big
guest next week.
big guy.
We
Big
ain't gonna
guy.
we ain't gonna say no. We ain't gonna say too much. We'll just
Big guy.
we'll
Big
let it.
guy.
Big guy. We ain't gonna say too much though. We'll let him introduce himself when we get here.
Well, all
Oh
right.
man.
So before we get out of here, I have one question that I wanted to ask you before you start talking about me. That was like completely on
Right.
a different note. So,
No, yeah.
being from St. Louis, what do guys like Jason Tatum and Bradley Beal mean for you as a basketball player and for a man?
Uh, I grew up playing against Jay. Like that was like me. Jay's only 1 year older than me.
Mm-hmm.
So, seeing what he's doing, like, is not a surprise. He's always been like, I'm not gonna say he's always been that good because like, but he worked for that.
Yeah.
Like Jay always got better. Like, how like some of these guys, like these like 5 stars in like high school, McDonald's All-Americans, like they don't progress. They're the same person, and either they fall off or they fall off when they get to the league. But like Jay always got better. Like
Mm-hmm.
every year he added something to his game. Like
Every year.
he perfected like, and the thing is like I can't even say that he perfected his game because there might be something that he might even unlock next year that we don't even know that he unlocked. He'll bring it
Mm-hmm.
out and it'll look like he perfected it. Like it's just watching him like really like have perfected his game like year by year. Like when people when he like shoots in mid range or when he shoots like a turnaround and it's just like look like it's a layup, like it's really a layup. I got like in high school I had to live with my coach in there telling me make him shoot a turnaround fade and hope it misses. like that's the shot we want him to shoot, and we have to hope that he misses that. And it's just like it's like crazy now. And then like Brad was more like looking up to because like I didn't play against Brad. Like
Yeah.
that's why it's hard for me to look up to Jay, like because we play each other all
That's
the
more like
time.
a peer on your like almost a peer on your
Yeah,
level. Like
yeah. But like Brad, like I remember like even when I committed to Florida, like we talked a couple times and just like him coaching me, my teams, like growing up, like him always being like that real big brother, like keeping it real, like them videos you see him go viral for, like
that's who
that's
he
what he
is.
like that's who he really is, and like that's why like I really appreciate Brad like for who he is, because like he always gonna keep it real with you. He never gonna beat around the bush, keep it sweet. He gonna give it to you the way life will give it to you. And that's why I respect him as much. And like he always been around. He always like he never too big for like back home. That's why, and
Nah.
and that's what like, and that's the thing about I feel like with St. Louis as a whole, like we got a lot of guys that are doing a lot of big things like in different sports and different areas and like different, like just different occupations. You could say, but we all are never too big for home. Like St. Louis, like even though it's St. Louis, like we always come back. We show love to the people
Mhm.
that we care about and the people that we like, we grew up with. Like regardless of if that's in a sport, if that's in, a different occupation, if that's in, like how it is, and
Just making
it's
sure
just
everyone
it's
knows
just
there's a different way
yeah.
out.
It's just a beautiful thing to see,
Mm.
like just the impact that they have brought to the city, So like, those guys they are big focal point names, to the city for sure. Like the city is definitely proud of those two, like wholeheartedly. Like they are definitely doing everything like to the utmost. Like they are
Hmm.
doing everything to put our city like, on the map, and is appreciative for sure. Like I'm so proud of both of them. Like they
Hmm.
deserve everything that they get, and they worked for it. And they
Yeah.
worked for that, So
And I always love seeing those videos of Bradley Beal with the AU teams and like,
mm,
because he's just telling them like straight up like you're trying to score, like you guys are all trying to score and be the best player. That's not like, if you guys want to play at the next level, that's not going to be it. Like
yeah,
you have to guard me. Like you have to guard Devin Booker. Like don't think shit's sweet. Like
yeah,
stop trying to play for the cameras. Stop trying to, get your highlight. Go out, play brother ball. Like that's the only way that you're
yeah.
gonna win games. It's the only way that you're gonna get to the next level and progress from here on out. Because at the end of
No,
the day, if,
definitely.
if if you're just a ball hog and highlight reel, you're not gonna progress very far. We've seen that happen with a lot of people, and you just stop
No,
hearing about them.
definitely. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it is. Like that's one of the probably the biggest things. Like he always wanted us to be a family,
Hmm.
and play for each other. That's one of the biggest values of our program. Like that's why you see how like I feel like, Jay, like the reason why he's so good on and off the ball, like he can play with another player like Jalen Brown, like, play with like other superstars, is because like, our coaches knew that Jay was Jay. Like
Hmm.
Jay's gonna get his buckets. Like the man's a walking 30 piece, the 40 piece, whatever you want to call it. But he had they wanted him to like play with other players too, like get him involved, like
Yeah,
and he took and like even with his high school team, he had like 3, 4, 5 solid, very solid like
he went to Chaminade,
D1.
right?
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
had like 5 D1 players in their team, 5, 6 D1 players in their team. So they all played. It was fluid basketball. If they had to
Yeah.
get a bucket, yeah, go ahead and throw the 22 and let them work out. But it was like it was fluid basketball, So it's like the ability that they had to play with other people while also being able to get buckets, like get efficient buckets. Like it's just like it's crazy to see.
Yeah. Jason Timms literally walking 30 piece. Bradley Beal also walking 30 piece. Amazing St.
No,
Louis products. Always put it on for the city.
yeah,
Always showing love to the city. Amazing people.
yeah, man,
You
yeah,
never you never
amazing
see
people.
anything. You never see anything negative about them too in the media. Like
Nah,
never. Especially
and stay
especially
out the
Jason
way.
Tatum. Like
As
JT
soon
just
as we
seems
learn
like
how to,
the utmost greatest dude ever.
we stay out. We learn to stay out the way. You know, when you
Have
got
to.
things going on, you gotta stay out the way.
Most definitely. Well, I think
Man,
that's all we got for here.
that's
That
all
was
I
a
got.
lot.
I think the EverPresent family, they need to,
Like,
go and take
comment,
everything they heard
share,
today,
subscribe.
take everything that they heard today and really take it in. Food for thought.
Yeah.
So we gave a lot of food for thought today. They got to sit on that one so they can be ready for next week. Because next week we coming at them real heavy. I don't want them to still be lingering on about this one.
Nah,
But
you
this
gotta
is
get through the whole thing, sit on it,
yeah,
and be ready for next week because we got
for
even
next
better one
week.
coming next week. And after that as
Exactly,
well. After that as well. We
exactly.
only getting better.
It's only up from here. In the
Only
great
up from
words of
here.
Chris. For
Well,
sure.
I guess we'll call it there. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to the first
Thank
episode.
you, man.
Like,
I want to
comment,
say thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all of that.
all that.
I need all of that.
All that. All love.
All